Hello everyone, my name is Roselle and today I'd like to share how I made my birthday outfit as someone who's always been interested in making their own clothes. First off, I just want to say I do have a basic understanding of sewing. My mom was a seamstress, not professionally, but she made clothes for me and my dad back in the day, and I have her old sewing machine. So I kind of know how to use it, at least the basic functions of it, and I fix a lot of broken clothes with it, so I've also made a couple of costumes in the past, but most of the time it was changing up a thrifted item or making something super simple like a circle skirt or a cape. The most complex thing I have ever made before this was an attempt at a cosplay of Chihiro or Sen from Spirited Away. I don't remember how much of it was my mom and how much was me. I know it had to have been a group effort, so I don't even really want to count that. The reason I bring this all up is to say that while I have a basic understanding and a little bit of practice, this was not going to be easy. So I started off with a sketch of what I was wanting to wear, and yes, I know my body does not look like this, but that doesn't matter. And then I started brainstorming what I would need to achieve this, and I got it in my head that since I have never made a shirt before, I would need a dress form. But I don't have one, and I definitely couldn't afford one right now, so I thought, well, I've seen people make their own dress forms out of duct tape, so why don't I try that? And try that I did, with the help of my bestest friend in the whole wide world, of course. She even so graciously let me do it in her beautiful home since, in case you guys missed my last video, I have no space at my house right now. So yeah, she did an amazing job of wrapping me up, and I really wish I could say that this part was essential and that my dress form helped me a lot. But yeah, so I tried my best to stuff it, and that shit was hard, but I got it to a serviceable level to try and use it for draping the top, but I'm getting ahead of myself because the first thing I made was the skirt. I actually planned on making this one from scratch too, but after looking at some tutorials online, I went and thrifted some jeans that would do the job and landed on these. So I'll try my best to line up what I'm talking about with the footage that I got, but to be honest, I did a bad job of catching everything I did. So yeah, if it wasn't clear before, this is not a tutorial. I just wanted to share my experience and struggles. So anyways, first thing I did was measure how long I wanted the top part of the skirt to be, and then I cut the legs off, and then I seam ripped them till I had 4 long strips of jean. After that, I matched the ends together and sewed them into one big circle, and then matched the front and back seams together and pleated the sides until it matched the width of the top part. This was the hardest part for sure. I had a hard time making the pleats even, so there is some bulk and bunching on the sides, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I'm definitely adding it to my wardrobe as a piece I'll wear often during the summer. I ironed the pleats down, but I still feel like I should do more sewing to try and keep them in place, but for my birthday, this was good enough. Next was the shirt, and I definitely was stalling on this part because I was nervous. I had never done something like this, and I was running out of time because I still am a chronic procrastinator. I really should get that checked out. I took out the duct tape dress form and started on a mock-up. I draped it and pinned it to the form and cut a slit to get it to lay down better, and then I drew out a rough estimate of what I wanted it to look like. Cut it out and then sewed it together. I put it on and I was happily surprised with how it looks so far. Of course, there were a couple of things I wanted to change, and I also hadn't tackled sleeves yet, but I was feeling pretty optimistic at this point, so I seam ripped the mock-up apart and then put it on my fabric I planned on using on the final top and just drew my changes on that. Cut it out, sewed it together, and this was where we're at. This is where morale gets lower and lower until I throw in the perfectionist towel and just accept it. The top didn't look very good to me at first, but I had to remember that this one had seam allowance so I can finish the edges. So I did that to the parts that wouldn't be getting any additions, and it was looking better, but the right side was not as good as the left and kept pooching or something, like it was too big and it didn't want to stay up. That was really bothering me, but I figured I could fix it later, so I moved on to the bottom part of the shirt and measured out the width and cut that out of the sheer fabric I had. And then I hemmed it and sewed that on, and I guess I'm dumb because it wasn't long enough, but I sewed it on all the way anyways, and then tried it on and obviously hated it because it was uneven and the middle slit was way too large since it wasn't long enough. So I seam ripped that off and decided to do the sleeves next since I had this fabric now that was too short to go around my torso but just long enough to go around both my arms. So I sewed them into tubes and tried to line everything up with the main part and sewed them together. And just I don't understand, okay? Like I thought I had it all together. I like double checked. I don't understand why sewing has so much like inside out, right side out, upside down like bullshit. But anyways, this one instance would have been fine, but with the right side being too big and the bottom being too small and then having to take that off, and then I swear that everything is lined up as it should, it's not, and now I have to rip this off and do it again. I wanted to quit so bad, and I probably did for the night, but I came back to it and sewed both the arms together right. And ignoring the fact that one arm was longer than the other, I was feeling better because all that was left for the top was the bottom. And I knew to measure the width of my hips rather than my waist this time, so I did that, cut it out, and sewed it on. All I needed to do was trim the bottom and hem it, but the sides were puffing out in a way I did not like, so I pinned the sides down a little. I still wasn't very happy with how it looked, and I considered taking it off again and just making the shirt a crop, but I stuck to the plan and finished the shirt and moved on. Last was the leg warmers, and they were definitely the easiest. I did them both in like an hour, and all I did was measure how long I wanted them to be and cut and sewed tubes of various lengths and sewed the tops all together and finished the edges with an elastic band so they would stay up. I finished everything this last Wednesday, which was the day before my birthday, so I was able to wear everything for my birthday like I planned. And here's how it turned out. I didn't wear it exactly like I had planned in my drawing, but I worked with it and what I had and styled it in a way that made me feel good and confident. So yeah, here are some pictures of me in it, out and about. If you asked me last week if it was worth it, I would have said, hell no. It was so frustrating, and I never even mentioned how many times I had to stop and re-sew or restart because the sewing machine was being dumb or I was being dumb. It was a lot, and it was really hard to push myself to continue when I would put it on and just see a bunch of mistakes. But I'm glad I did it and stuck through it because now I feel like I could do a lot better next time. Like, wow, I guess practice does make you better. Hey guys, did you know that practice makes you better at stuff? No, but seriously, I am happy with the end product and I am proud of myself for it. Will I wear the top again? Probably not, but who knows? I might change it up still, but I'll definitely be wearing the skirt and the leg warmers again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever wanted to make your own clothes and you have or haven't. I think if you're someone like me who does, but maybe you haven't because you're scared you'll mess up, you should do it anyways, because how else will you get better? And I definitely messed up a lot. Anyways, thank you again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you.